Hey, JMT audience, how you doing? I'm on location, and it's show number 66. Hey, how you doing, JMTV? Yeah, I'm on location, running the show remotely. I'm in California this week, as many of you know. I'm on a motorcycle trip, riding my bike to Colorado. Tonight's my first night um, camping. Last night I stayed in a hotel. My good friend Ross came out from Colorado. He's not riding with me, unfortunately. Some stuff came up, so he's flying back to Colorado as we speak. And I set out this morning in LA and ended up in San Luis Obispo. And actually, Pismo Beach is where I am. And so I'm going to be running the show from here. No further ado, I'm going to bring on Bill.
Wow.
Hey, Bill Nolan.
How are you? You're at the pool. You're poolside, huh?
Yeah. So I check this out. So this is where I am. Pretty cool, right? See that?
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Nice,
It's actually
nice sky.
there's actually a volcano like under there, and there's a hot spring here. The Avila. I don't know how you pronounce it. It's Avila. So it's either Avila or whatever hot spring, and I was in it.
Tequila. It's like,
Tequila hot spring. Exactly. I was in it. I'll probably get in it while on the show. It's 104 degrees. It's pretty hot.
nice.
Yeah, it's really nice. What have you been doing?
I've been working, been doing stuff. By the way, out there, is it super hot out there?
Okay, so this was the weirdest day ever. And I've done a lot of I did 35,000 miles to get here. Like over the last 4 years. Riding the bike and then flying home and riding the bike and flying home and that sort of thing. And I started this morning in LA where at 9 in the morning it was 85 degrees, and at 10 in the morning it was 90 degrees. It was hot, right?
Yeah.
And then I rode the bike down to Santa Monica Pier, and it was 65 degrees.
Wow.
By the Pacific, really. And I got down there and I descended into this like misty fog, and then went to Malibu, and it was 60 degrees.
Wow.
So I then went up the coast. I rode for about 90 minutes up the coast past Malibu and up that way, and it was cold. And I was like, do I have to stop and get all my cold weather gear out? I got all that stuff, like. I didn't have gloves on. I was like, God, it's really like chill to the bone. It's frosty, cold. And then I made a right turn inland and went through a tunnel. And when I came out of the tunnel, and I mean it was 64 degrees on the outside of the tunnel. I came out of the tunnel, it was 85.
Wow.
Like it went through this mountain into a valley, and then within 5 miles, it was 92 degrees.
Wow. Yeah.
So I went from being boiling hot to being freezing cold, back to being boiling hot, all in one day.
Yeah, because my son's in Utah, and like at 8 o'clock at night, it's like 99.
Right.
It's really been hot there.
It's really hot, yeah. And what's interesting is that with California, the way it is right now, the coast is 60. Where I am now, I'm actually pretty close to the coast, just a little bit inland, so it's about 72. It's like perfect here.
Yeah.
But if you go that way for about 40 miles, it's 115.
Wow. Not to make, I don't know how this will make you feel, but the last 2 days here have been like top 10,
perfect,
maybe all time. I was at the beach. I was Bailey Beach, and we're waiting today. And
Right.
if you were in the shade, there's a pavilion there, and if you were in the top of the pavilion in the shade, the breeze coming on shore, it was like chilly, but it was just
Perfect.
gorgeous, and it's been that way for a couple of days now. So,
That's great.
Thank you, Ed.
Yes, I leave town and the weather gets nice.
Thank you.
Good stuff. What are you going to do for us today?
I started playing with the idea of doing songs that were sort of nautical. You're kind of on a trip, and then I was kind of thinking like sort of sailing-ish kind of things. That kind of thing.
Right.
So that's where I'm at.
Very cool. All right, take it away. Do
All
one.
right.
I'll let you.
Now you country fools in your one-horse town, you can laugh at me. It's plain as rain that you've never been down to the southern sea. To see me now is like watching a fish on dry land. I only wish you could see me down in the islands. Mister, that's my home. What a fool I was to leave the only happiness I've known. You see me coming, you wink your eye and call me Captain Jim. And when I don't do nothing but walk on by, you say, get a load of him. All I need is the sea and the sky, and I know where I'd stand. Instead of you hicks straight out of the sticks, deciding I ain't a man. You never understand. Up here I'm just a whiskey bum, but down there I'm a king. It sounds just like the angels up in heaven when they sing welcome home. Welcome home. Let me hear it. It's such a sight to see. Instead of some Salvation Army sister singing near my God to thee. Now I know that the Yankee whiskey is taking away my mind, and I know that rum is the only drink suitable to mankind. And I know that this tree I'm under is shaped entirely wrong. I need to see a gentle palm tree, and I won't wait too long. I can feel it coming strong. The first cold wind of winter is flapping on my clothes, showing me the way with the direction that it blows. Welcome home. Welcome home. Let it blow, and not some sad Salvation Army sister singing nearer my God to thee. Welcome home. And not some Salvation Army sister singing nearer my God to thee. Kind of a fish out of water story.
Oh, yeah, that's great. That's a great tune.
How do they like it in the deep end?
The deep end, yeah, they like it. They have no idea what I'm doing here. They think I'm like some FaceTime call or something, you know?
It's a Zoom call.
It's a Zoom call, exactly. I'm at work. I'm at work on Jam TV, everybody.
It's an interview.
So, Bailey Beach. So do you find yourself outside at Bailey Beach? Like,
I'm outside the whole time. I'm not always under the sun, but I'm outside the whole time.
Right. What happens when it, is cold or hot or pours or all that?
Well, it's like any notion when your livelihood is somehow tied to the beach being sort of active and all this stuff. Any notion that like a rainy day at the beach can be so romantic, it's not. It feels like a bummer. Like you're there
Right.
and you're kind of like the concession lady isn't going to make a penny. The lifeguards can't work. Nothing. No one's going to be there. It's just you're looking at wet sand and. Oh, the sand's wet, so tomorrow we won't be able to sift it to get the shells and the rocks out.
Right.
Like everything is just the only thing I like is that I have this little fertile crescent of grass that I've taken under my wing, and I love this little grass like it were my own family. And when it rains, at least I'm like somebody's happy.
You are like a prisoner in Papillon, like my friend is a blade of grass, for 20 years for my life.
Sometimes I feel like when you're in a place like that that's sort of a public space, you really get a very sad view of mankind just by sort of reading how they treat their garbage. And I feel a little bit like Margaret Mead, and it's like some sort of anthropological thing where it tells me everything I need to know about a person as how they interact with garbage. Do they pick up random garbage? Do they just throw garbage anywhere? Do they throw garbage 2 feet away from a trash basket?
I thought you meant the garbage. The people were the actual garbage.
No, I'll get there. Maybe week 72. Maybe I'll be at that one. But for right now, there are no bad people. There's only bad garbage bags.
Right. They're going to come to you and they're going to be like, "No moment, sir, can you get us 2 more mimosas?" And you're like, "I don't do that."
Yeah. Well, I mean, that is there are a number of people who really are a little blurry on the idea of what a municipal beach is versus the Ocean House in Watch Hill.
Right.
There are no Cabana Boys. There aren't going to be any freaking Cabana Boys.
You're the Cabana Boy. You're the Cabana Boy in my heart right now. That's what I'm going to call you forever.
I don't even know what to do with that, but okay,
I'll do another song.
Okay.
Cool.
Cutting the audio of the pool. Marco. Well, I'm leaving my family, leaving all my friends. My body's at home, my heart's in the wind, where clouds are like headlines on a new front page sky. My tears are salt water, the moon's full and high. And I know Martin Eden is gonna be proud of me. Many before me been called to the sea. Be up in the crowd's nest singing my say. Shiver me timbers, I'm sailing away. And the fog's lifting, the sand's shifting, I'm drifting on out. Oh, Captain Ahab, got nothing on me now. So swallow me, don't follow me, I'm traveling alone. Blue water's my daughter, gonna skip like a stone. So please call my missus, gotta tell her not to cry now. My goodbye is written in the moon and the sky, and nobody knows me, can't fathom I'd stay and shiver me timbers, I'm sailing away. And the fog's lifting, the sand's shifting, I'm drifting on out. Oh, Captain Ahab, got nothing on me. So come on, swallow me, follow me, I'm traveling alone. Blue water's my daughter, gonna skip like a stone. And I'm leaving my family, leaving all my friends. My body's at home, my heart's in the wind, where clouds are like headlines on a new front page day. And shiver me timbers, I'm sailing away.
Very nice, very nice.
Can you even hear any of this?
Oh, I hear it perfectly, like the best ever. I got my little in-ear
Oh,
monitors.
you have headphones on. Right.
Oh yeah, I got my little in-ear monitors. These are great. These are made by Fender, right? So Fender decided to make an in-ear monitor that doesn't have to be molded to your ear and cost $1,000, right?
Right.
So they're like, we're going to make an in-ear monitor that will fit 90% of people, and if you don't like it, you can return it. And they're $300, right? And then they released it like in February last year, and then the pandemic hit, and nobody was gigging. So they were like, what do? We got all these freaking things. We got the product launch happening, and nobody's going to buy $300 in-ear monitors when they don't have gigs, right? So they dumped them. So I bought them for $20. $20 for the $300, in-ear monitor, and they're amazing. Like, they're the best thing ever. They fit perfectly, and they sound really good and bassy, and they're phenomenal, right? So now the price has gone back up to $300 now that the pandemic is over.
But again, another fun, positive story out of the pandemic.
Yeah, right.
Like, you got a deal out of the pandemic.
Exactly. Here, do another song, and then I'm going to bring Mario Orlando. I talked about in the studio a second ago.
Okay, just for completeness, the first song was a James Taylor song. The last song was a Tom Waits song, and this is a Lyle Lovett song.
All right, great.
If I had a boat, I'd go out on the ocean. And if I had a pony, I'd ride him on my boat. And we could all together go out on the ocean. I said, me upon my pony on my boat. And if I were Roy Rogers, I'd sure enough be single. I couldn't bring myself to marry an Odell. It'd just be me and Trigger, and we go to the movies when we buy a boat, and on the sea we sail. If I had a boat, I'd go out on the ocean, and if I had a pony, I'd ride him on my boat, and we could all together go out on the ocean. I said, me upon my pony on my boat. The mystery masked man was smart. He got himself a Tonto, 'cause Tonto did the dirty work for free. But Tonto, he was smarter, and one day said, Kimosabi, kiss my ass, I bought a boat, I'm going out to sea. And if I had a boat, I'd go out on the ocean. If I had a pony, I'd ride him on my boat, and we could all together go out on the ocean. I said, me upon my pony on my boat. And if I were like lightning, I wouldn't need no sneakers. I'd come and go whenever I would please. I'd scare 'em by the shade tree, and I'd scare 'em by the light pole, and I would not scare my pony on my boat out on the sea. And if I were a boat, I'd go out on the ocean, and if I had a pony, I'd ride him on my boat, and we could all together go out on the ocean. I said, me upon my pony on the ocean in my boat. If I had a boat, I'd go out on the ocean, and if I had a pony, I'd ride him on my boat, and we could all together go out on the ocean, me upon my pony, pony on the boat. Me upon my pony, riding on my boat.
That was great.
Got a little ragged there for a little while.
You want to hear a funny story about that song, right? So
sure.
I'd never heard that song before, and I invited a good friend of mine out sailing, and they are he and his wife are both Broadway actors, right? And so he's an actor, and she's a musical theater person, and they come out on the boat, and we laughed because I always said I wanted to plant grass on the wheelhouse roof and get a goat, and have the goat eat the grass off the wheelhouse roof, right? I always said that. And so one day he sends me the lyrics of this song that you just sang, but right. I didn't know it was Lyle Lovett. So right. I thought, and I wrote him back, and I said, Ted, that's fantastic. That could be a hit song. That's a great song, and you should record that song. We should do something with that song. And he wrote me back. He's like, yeah, it's Lyle Lovett. Oh, wow. At least I have an eye for talent, right?
You know, it's ear. It's a great ear. You can't beat that. Yeah.
And I saw him do that live. I think it was the Klein. He did this tour where he went out with, I can't remember who it was right now, but it was another singer-songwriter, and they alternated songs. They sat on stage, and they had acoustic guitars, and he would do one, and the other fellow would do one, and he would do one. And it was somebody really famous. It just escapes me right now.
Was it like John Hyatt?
It was John Hyatt. That's exactly who it was. Yeah.
Yep. There's a lot of similar. John Hyatt's a guy that doesn't get enough credit. I mean, Lyle doesn't get enough credit either, but John Hyatt's a guy that doesn't get enough credit. He's written some amazing songs, and he's got a great voice.
Why do those guys not have the superstardom? They are obviously superstars, but why don't they get that like household name recognition? I don't know.
Well, it's not a genre, like the singer-songwriter thing is not a genre that lends itself well to, chorus boys and big production numbers. It's kind of more introspective, and if you're lucky enough to be like I would say Jackson Browne is more like a household name, and I'm not even counting people like Paul Simon or James Taylor or Billy Joel. But these guys,
in that company, Lyle Lovett is definitely up to it. Why isn't he in that company? I don't know. Weird. Music industry is weird.
He was actually part of. There was a A&R guy at MCA Records, and he was looking to sort of revitalize their country department, their country label part. And he signed at one time. He signed like Lyle Lovett, Vince Gill, and Steve Earle. Like he signed all three of those guys, which was there was a guy named John Hammond who signed Janis Joplin and Dylan and all these. It was like that, except a little bit later on. But pretty. Talk about people with ears,
Right.
Murillo.
How you doing, Mario Orlando? We don't hear you. Should we be hearing you, Mario?
I am not hearing Mario.
Hey, guys.
How are you?
I am.
Okay, you know what? I've got you on 2 pages.
Oh, that's not
You
good.
should be able to hear.
Yeah,
Not
we
exact.
have an echo now. Now there's a massive echo. Whatever's happening is not the way you want to do that. I'll let you figure that out. We'll bring you right back on in a minute after this song with no moment. So
It's like we're on a sports radio station, and
yep,
he's
turn down your
proposing
radio.
a hockey trade. You know, what if the Rangers got Gretzky, and then the guys are like, turn your radio down, turn your radio down. You know.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, headphones never caught on much with the show, but whatever. It's all good. That fixes everything. If you use headphones, it fixes everything.
Yeah, I don't get any echo. I don't have any. I don't
Little
have
bit.
any issues.
I hear my voice
on your
echoing
end.
a tiny bit. Yeah, it's no big deal.
But so if I had headphones on, you wouldn't suffer the echo, because on my end the problem is I don't hear anything.
Right. There's software that's supposed to fix it, but it doesn't really work perfectly.
But if I had headphones on, then someone could sneak up behind me and like hit me over the head or something. Oh, actually, I'd see
Your
them.
wife.
I'd see them right there, and I'd duck.
Right. Now that's good television.
That's right.
All right, do one more. See if we get
You were breaking up a little, so do one more. Is that what you said?
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. Lady in a turban, cocaine tree, does a dance so eloquently, crying and singing and having a time. Gee, that cocaine tree just looks fine. You got to put on your sailing shoes. Put on your sailing shoes. Everyone will start to cheer. You gotta put on your sailing shoes. Jedediah, he's got a dime. Says he catch more fish every time. I've got a line. You got a pole. Meet you down at the fishing hole. You gotta put on your sailing shoes. Put on your sailing shoes. Everyone will start to cheer. You gotta put on your sailing shoes. Doctor, doctor, I feel so bad. This is the worst day I've ever had. Had you this misery a very long time. Well, if you have, I'll lay it on the line. You've got to put on your sailing shoes. Put on your sailing shoes. Everyone will start to cheer. You gotta put on your sailing shoes. And there it is.
Very nice. Very, very nice.
Wow, now I'm hearing the echo.
Oh, yeah. Well, Mario's got the echo going.
Okay, what about you guys? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you okay. It's all good.
Okay, I don't have any echo going.
Yeah, it sounds good.
I mean, I could turn my echo unit on if you like.
Yeah, do that. Get a Roland Space Echo and talk through it. You know?
Today, I feel like the luckiest man in the world.
Exactly. So for those of you just joining the show, I'm in a hot spring in California. A hot spring, which is phenomenal. And there's the pool, and the hot spring is behind me here. I'll probably go in that later on the show. But how you doing, Mario?
Yeah, not too bad. I fell off a ladder yesterday.
What?
Yeah.
How does that happen?
I was in the sun too long. I'm painting one of the sides of the house.
Yep.
And I was in the sun too long, and I was coming down the ladder, and I thought I was at the last step, and I wasn't.
Oh.
So I missed the step, and I went down.
That sucks.
Oh, good. So how do you feel?
Yeah. So I'm pretty banged up, but I mean, I tried a little bit today, and I said no, I wasn't feeling well, so I just scrapped it. Because we have beautiful weather here, it's really nice. But
I've heard.
I hurt myself the other day, and I can't do it.
Yikes.
I didn't break anything, right? But I did take a fall.
Well, as long as you didn't really hurt yourself, that's no fun. Be limping around,
No, well, I'm just sore as hell, is what it is.
Well, you get any video of that fall? I'd like to see that on the show. I'd like to put it to one of your pieces, more aggressive pieces.
Yeah,
of music,
right.
Ed would like to turn your mishap into a punchline. That's
nice.
it.
That's the way. That's the way.
No, that's the problem with painting in this weather. On and off. It's tough. Anyway,
Well,
I survived it, but I'm sore today.
Painting is funny. Like until you fall off a ladder or even like misstep on a ladder, sometimes you just don't even think about it. But once you do it, it changes the whole ball game.
Right.
It's like,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I used to go on
Especially when you're
40-foot
out there
ladders
alone,
and hang out and do stuff like that. And then I fell off like a short. Remember Mr. Zavitz, Mario, like the
Yes.
music? Yeah.
Yes.
I painted his house in Havemeyer, right? And it's like
You
a
did?
ranch, And
Oh, okay.
my ladder was sliding, and I had time to think about what I was doing. Like I had time.
Right.
And so I was like, I'm going to jump off into that. I don't want to land with my groin in the in the rhododendron. So I'm going to land on that patch right there, and I'll be loose and I'll roll and it'll be great. Well, I was so
Right.
loose, my knee came up, hit me in the chin. I bit through my tongue and it knocked me out.
Oh my God.
But once you do that, suddenly it's like, hey, you could actually fall off a ladder. It never occurred to me.
Yikes. Yeah, you don't need much to hurt yourself. You can fall off a curb and hurt yourself.
Oh. You could fall off like a 2-foot seawall and hurt yourself.
You got it.
I've done some crazy things, but this, I mean, I've fallen off a pier. Nothing happened. That was way back in the day. And I hit all the stones going all the way down.
Ooh, that's so
Nothing
good. That's so good.
Yeah, but I was younger then, too.
Right. Right. By the way, it occurred to me, Mario, do you speak German?
Jawohl, ich kann Deutsch sprechen.
Ich auch. Ich bin in Oberösterreich aufgewachsen.
Ja, ich hatte gehört. Ja?
Yeah.
So
Du musst ein bisschen Deutsch sprechen und alle die anderen muss etwas hören, probieren zu verstehen, was wir sagen.
Yeah, what he's saying, Bill Dolman, is we can try to speak German, but we have to make an attempt to try to understand what we're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I only know certain things like "Fahrrad mit ein Torpedos, los" or "Handen holden, Engländer, Handen holden."
That's pretty good. Pretty good. So you watch submarine movies.
Yeah, right.
There were
Fahrrad
3
mit ein
words when I
Torpedos.
first got over there that I learned right away. Danke, bitte,
Yep.
Scheiße.
Yep.
Scheiße.
Thank you, please, and Scheisse. Exactly.
Ach de Scheisse.
Ach, Scheiße. Schweinkram. Alles ist Schweinkram.
Yeah, we got to get together some German. You know, I'm very rusty in my German. I learned it as a kid. You know?
Well, if you don't practice it, you start to lose it. But it's there. It's there. You just
It's there.
It's the same thing with me. When I start talking to people in Hamburg,
Yeah.
all starts to come back. It's a little rough in the beginning, but after 2 or 3 or 4 minutes, it starts to come back.
Right. Good stuff. Hey, Phil Norman, do one more song for us.
Yeah, wait a minute now. Before he picks one, how about a request?
All right.
He doesn't like these requests from me.
No,
he's got a list and he worked out.
No. Sometimes I do like requests. Depends on what it is. If you're asking for Third Stone from the Sun, no, that ain't gonna happen.
No, I'm not going to ask you to do anything that fancy. But you did say that perhaps this week you would have, the song from Jimi Hendrix figured out. Wink Rides Mary.
I.
Uh-oh.
Yes or no? Can you get away with it? Can you get away with it?
I'm gonna say no, just because I could fake it.
Okay. Forget about that. How about
Don't
talk?
put your...
I'll do that next week for sure. I will do that next week for sure.
How about what?
Talk.
Got me through the I don't know the words, but I'm
Okay, do Plinth.
You got a list. That learned. Hold on.
See?
Today is Eddie Wright's birthday. I don't know if you know.
Oh, wow.
That I did know. I wished him a happy birthday today. I did.
Well,
He made it to 71. Caught up
so
to
he's
me.
he's 71. Because I'm 70. Yeah.
No, he's 71 now.
Well,
How about some Steely Dan?
All right, pick something easy. Okay. I know one. You can do Little Wing. I know you know that one.
No, I'm not doing Little Wing.
Okay.
I'm dealing with people who actually know Hendrix's songs. I'm going to do a song that I've already established in practice that I could not sing, so I'm going to do that instead. But it's still in my sailing motif.
Okay. Luke John B.
I'd sail the ocean, unsettled ocean, through restful waters and deep commotion, often frightened, unenlightened. Sail on, sailor. I'd search the water, Neptune's water, sail through the sorrows of life's marauders, unrepenting, often empty. Sail on, sailor, caught like a sewer ride. Oh, do I sail? Bored like a crust of bread. Oh, do I wail? Seldom stumble, never crumble, glided tumble, life's a rumble. See the stinging I've been given, never ending, unrelenting. Heartbreak searing, often fearing, never caring, persevering. Sail on, sailor. I'd worked the seaway, the gale-swept seaway, past shipwrecked daughters of wicked waters, uninspired, drenched and tired. Sail on, sailor, always needing, even bleeding, never feeding all my feelings. Damn the thunder, must I blunder? There's no wonder, whoa, I'm under. Stop the crying and the lying and the sighing and my dying. Sail on, sailor. Sail on, sailor. Sail on, sailor. Sail on, sailor. Yeah.
I like that, Billy. That was good.
Thank you. Beach
I like
Boys. The Beach Boys.
Yeah.
Your sound, Ed.
I said
Your sound.
I was riding up the beach all day on the Pacific Coast Highway.
Yeah.
I was, but it was like 60. It was nasty and cold and foggy.
Really?
Oh yeah, like I was in LA. I was telling Bill earlier. I was in LA earlier today, and it was 85 degrees at 9 o'clock in the morning. And then I rode down to Malibu, and it was 60 degrees.
How the heck does that happen?
The Pacific Ocean, the blowing the cold air onto the shore, and foggy and nasty. And I rode like 90 minutes in the cold, and I was shivering, like literally my teeth were chattering. And then I went through a tunnel that took me through this little mountain, and it was 85 on the other end of the tunnel. Like it was boiling, and now it's beautiful here. I'm in San Luis Obispo, which is, up the coast about 100 miles from LA. Much more civilized and beautiful here. So
Wow.
it's the first day of 13 days riding my motorcycle to Colorado. I haven't gotten any closer to Colorado today. I went.
Will you be in Colorado next week?
Well,
Okay.
no, I'm going to be in Colorado the following week. Like in 12 more days, I'm going to be in Colorado.
Now, which way? What route are you going? Are you going like a very small route?
Here's the problem. Okay, I was planning on going to Yosemite and then over the mountain and then cut across Utah to southern Utah and go to Colorado. It's a pretty direct route. Go see some national parks, whatever.
Yeah.
It's 115 degrees that whole route.
Right.
So there's no way that I'm going through any of that. Death Valley's 130 right now, 126 right now. So there's
But it's a
no
dry
way.
heat.
It's
a dry heat, though.
Exactly. I went to Vegas once, and everybody was saying, but it's a dry heat all day long. It's like 25 years ago. And I registered the website, butitsadryheat.com. And then I never did anything with it. But I thought it was a fun thing to have. But anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up the coast to Oregon and then make a right and go to Yellowstone and Grand Tetons and then south to Colorado. So that's a cooler way of traveling, but a lot more miles.
But it was like 100 and something in Billings. Like when it's in the hundreds in Montana, that's hot.
I got to watch the heat wave. I'm watching it every day. And it'll break one day, like maybe next week it'll break, and then I'll do whatever I want. So,
heat wave. There you go.
It's really good. What do you got? You gonna play that guitar, Mario?
No. Then we'll have a catastrophe. It'll be a catastrophe, I tell you. If I try to do this live, everything will go wrong.
I don't know. I hear you pretty good, actually. It might work really well.
I don't know. I'm going to find out, something. Watch this. Watch what happens. Your system is going to blow up. I tell you this right now.
It might. I don't know. I hear it pretty good.
Do you hear that?
Yeah, it sounds great.
Really?
Yeah.
You hear that?
Yeah, it sounds good.
It's in B.
You're kidding me.
Yeah.
After all this equipment, now I just play straight through it and it sounds fine?
That's what Bill's doing. That's what Noman does.
I don't believe it. I'm going to give Bill a little taste of the 60s, okay? Because we were talking about it yesterday. A little twangy 60s music for Billy.
There you go.
You didn't like that, Bill?
There. Yes.
I've got a couple of videos, and I don't know if I played them yet. I got one that's got like a German name, and the font is like 1-point font. Hold on, I put my readers on. It's called Darshan 2.
Darshan 2?
Yeah.
Okay, you can play it. You like it? Play it.
That's one of yours, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right, check this out. I'm going to play it. Here we go. Hey, Chris Owen, by the way. How you doing?
Oh, there he is, Chris Owen.
Good to see you, Chris. All right, here we go. Darshan 2.
Hello, time. Listen close. I've been long before I'm gone, and it's hard to talk. These pills I took are strong. Please be a friend and tell Darshan I love her. I won't see her again. Well, I loved her till there wasn't much left. She told me I was selfish, walked out the door, but I would do most anything. I'd even give my soul for Darshan. Well, I loved her till there wasn't much left. La-dee-da-dee-da. La-dee-da-dee-da. What's that you say? Am I okay? Don't be afraid, you're on your way. But can't you see my energy is staying? Please be a friend and tell Darshan I love her. I won't see her again. paced the floor. But what was I supposed to do? I was only trying to score for Joshua. Well, I loved her till there wasn't much to lend. La-dee-da-dee-da. La-dee-da-dee-da.
That was great.
That's nice,
Darshan.
man. It's nice.
Yeah, that's an old song, man.
When did
Mario,
you do that?
is the country house what used to be the Bum Steer?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That was cool. That was really cool. Nice.
When did you do that tune, Mario?
Oh God. Okay, let me think.
80s.
Yeah, it was re-recorded in the '80s, and
Yeah.
I wrote it in Darshan in 1979. 1979, 1980, yeah. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Hey,
Then
you were-
I re-recorded it in Hamburg, and that was the re-recorded version of it. I have the original with some singers from Harlem, and the really good song, because I'm not a singer, I can get away with it, but I'm not a singer really. And there's one song called "A Picture" that really came out good, and you have that, Mr. Train.
I'll see if I can play that next week. I'm on the road. And
I know.
What I don't have loaded right now, it's like I don't
No,
have all my
that's
fancy
fine.
gear.
That's fine, but the singer is excellent.
Oh, who's the singer?
Well, her name was Trudy, and she brought her friends who they did studio work. And I was talking to Ratso, and he said, I've got these singers if you want to use them on your session. And I said, sure, I'll meet them. And I met them all. And I
Right.
decided to go into the studio in New York, and we recorded this one song. And it came out fantastic.
That's really
And,
cool.
I played guitar on it, but everything else was, with these studio players and these girls from Harlem. It fucking sounded great.
That's
Yeah.
really cool. That's really.
Yeah.
You didn't record it at Ratso's studio.
No. I went into coordinated sound,
Right.
and Dave Halbert, a friend of mine, who's also from Greenwich, he was working at the studio, and he said, if you want to come down, I'll engineer it for you, and we can do it there. So I did a lot of my early stuff with David, and that one song with the studio people, it just came out great. And then
Yeah.
I Want to Be There, 2P, he recorded that, and you also have that. You have
Yeah.
all my stuff.
I've got them all. I'm gonna load them up.
You got all my old stuff.
The next time I'm in a place that is like indoors, which might be like 3 or 4 days from now, because I'm like riding through the wilderness here.
Yeah.
The next time I have good Wi-Fi and all that, I'll load that stuff up so we'll have it for next week.
Yeah, well, I brought all that stuff to Hamburg, and everybody liked it, and that's how I got my publishing contract.
Right.
So, yeah,
That's cool.
it was good.
That's very cool. Yeah, it's interesting. I think these guys, you might know her. You know Sandy Coughlin, Mario? Sandy?
No.
You don't know her. She's a Greenwich person as well. And
Younger
but
than us.
These guys, yeah, younger, right? And she's in her 40s. How's that?
Oh, that's why I don't know her.
Younger.
That's why I don't know her,
She's
man.
not in her 40s, but she's not in her 70s. So let's just go there. So Sandy, her son, her son is a really great guitar player. In fact, I would like the two of you to meet, or at least meet online somehow.
Sure.
Ryan Coughlin is his name, and there's an artist now who's famous named Ruth B. Ruth B. And if we were all a little bit hipper to what's going on in music now, she sings ballads. She's got a nice voice, and he just wrote the title track to her album. The name escapes me right now, but her other song on Spotify has 600 million downloads.
Holy shit!
Wow.
Holy shit is right. Like, this is how you make. So this prompted me to figure out how the music industry works now. Like, I understood how it worked before. You get a record company, you go into debt to them, they manipulate you, they steal all the money. You know, that's how it worked in the olden days, right? Now, if you're on Spotify, right, and you can get people to download your song, they send you checks. So that's great.
Yeah, but keep in mind, with 600 million plays, she might make $2,500.
No. So listen, if you do 1 million plays, you get $3,200.
I guess.
What does that
Yeah,
come to
that's
per
the number.
play?
I looked it up. That's what you
No,
get.
because there's a famous story of the woman who wrote the song, the Belinda Carlisle song, "Heaven Is a Place on Earth," which was like a #1 song, huge MTV song, all this stuff, and she got 3 million plays or something. She made $42. It was like,
wow,
because the payment was like 0.001 or something like that.
Well,
Right.
Okay, so the pie that you get is $3,200. Then of course you got to pay all the different right holders out of that $3,200, right? But you do 600 million. That's you're putting millions of dollars into the pie. So
I'll tell you, if you sold 600 million 45s vinyl, you'd make some money on that. Yeah,
can you imagine? And so that's the name of the game now. The name of the game now is you get on playlists and you get downloads from all around the world, and you get 600 million, and the checks roll in the big way. So I'm hoping for Ryan Coughlin that he gets a little piece of that pie. That'd be great.
Yep.
Wow.
Very
600
little piece.
million hits and only $3,200.
Wow.
No, you get 3,200 per million.
Okay.
So you get 32,000 for 10 million, and you get 320,000 for 100 million, and you get 6 times that. You get $1.8 million for as many hits as she had on her other song. That's how you're making your money. That's how the industry works now. So,
Wow.
I don't know
Yes.
how I get one of my songs on there. But
And who does the promotion for this?
well, I guess Ruth B has a record company, and that's how it works now. The record
Because
company promotes it.
unless you've got somebody promoting it and advertising, who the heck is? They don't know you.
Well, there it is. So she's got a record company that steals the money. It's just like the old days.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Well,
And she got $42.
and this is why the musicians are having to tour their asses off.
Yeah,
And
that's usually how they make their
sell-
money.
I mean,
Right.
that's,
Have to sell
that's the revenue
CDs.
stream. That's the real revenue stream.
Right,
think-
but
I
they have
think-
nothing but CDs to sell, and nobody's got a CD player anymore.
I don't
That's-
think the Chinese are. It just occurred to me. The Chinese are not responsible for the pandemic. It's the record companies that want to screw the artists out of their tour revenue. That's what it is.
Could be.
Yeah, that could be, huh?
They cooked this whole thing up so that they could screw the artists out of tour.
Right. Well, they'd say you either take the deal or take it or leave it. You're not going to go anywhere now.
Right. Wow.
But that's how you
should
make
leave
your
it
money
under
on
any
the tour.
circumstances. Leave it. They give you take it or leave it. Leave it. You're way better off touring and selling trace elements of your stuff.
Well, that's
and
where
owning
the
it.
money is for most musicians. The tour.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, no one's, unless you're going to hit Bieber, Taylor Swift kind of numbers, it's not a business for the average person.
Right.
Even the average brilliant person, even the average great person,
You're better off getting some decent paying gigs and working every night, and then the money. You could be. Who used to do that? Was it Chuck Berry? He was like,
Yeah.
I think it was Chuck Berry. He was like, yeah, I want the money in cash in a briefcase. Like.
And he didn't bring a band. He didn't bring a band. He would go to the dates, and you'd have to supply a band, and virtually every band could play Chuck Berry. The only problem with Chuck, as guitarists will know, is that when you do the intro to whatever song it is, it could be one of 35 songs. Like you don't know. It's like, is that Little Queenie or is that Sweet Little 16? Like, what the hell is that, you know? And you'd figure that out as the song went on, but it was like, you know, there's a great...
That's how I
Right,
do every
you
gig.
use the same riffs a lot.
Yeah. You know, you know,
It could be
classic.
anything.
Classic.
Tried
Could be
and
Surfing
true.
USA.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. All right, Chris Owen, do a song for us. Well, with
Oh,
that being
okay.
said, how you been, by the way?
I've been good. Yeah, everything's good. I'm enjoying the weather here in the Northeast, and it's better than what you're getting out there in San Luis Obispo.
No, it's nice. It's like 72 degrees here by the pool. I got palm trees and a pool. And,
Isn't that in violation of your injunction, Ed?
exactly.
That looks closer than 75 feet to me. I don't know.
Exactly. Yes, that's true. The judge doesn't want me out in public. You know, he's like, you need to go to your little personal penitentiary in Pennsylvania and not be in public. You know?
And all you heard was little personal, and that triggered you. That was it.
Right, exactly. So, Chris Owen, what are you going to do for us today?
All right, I'm going to start off. I have a couple of songs ready. One is an original song I wrote a few years back called North Shore Ghosts. And it's I'll tell you a little bit about it. It's kind of a paean to my ancestors who grew up and made their living up in the North Shore, Massachusetts, around Gloucester, Essex, and Lynn in that area.
Right,
they were
right,
fishermen and shipbuilders. So I wrote the song, and toward the end, I go, you know what? I'm going to be an ancestor someday. Someday somebody's going to say, yeah, you remember Chris Owen? He was my great-great-great-grandfather, man. And he,
Right.
You know, so North Shore Ghosts. This is the title to this song. Hold on.
All right, great. Take it away.
Strolling north of the city, I drag my net for a piece of history. The rolling in nor'easterly, weathering storms for me. They're weathering storms for me. Walking out on Good Harbor Beach, I know they're out there, they're just out of reach. The fall grows in and I still hear them teach. They lift their nets for me. They lift their nets for me. Somewhere here on the North Shore, between the fields and the sea, pulling hard on these old oars to find that fisher in me. The houses stand so majestically. They added plumbing and electricity. From here they walked into eternity. Weathering storms for me. Weathering storms for me. Somewhere here on the North Shore, between the fields and the sea, I'm pulling hard on these old oars to find that fisher in me. So rest quietly with soldiers sleep. Your dreams and aspirations buried deep, with these old stone walls protect and keep your memory alive for me. Your memory alive for me. Somewhere here on the North Shore, between the fields and the sea, pulling hard on these old oars to find that fisher in me. Trolling north of the city, you'll drag your net for a piece of history. From here I'll walk into eternity. It's for me, weathering storms for thee.
Nice. Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. I barely remembered it.
Wow. So tell me more about that song.
Well, actually, the last trip that I took with my parents before my father passed away was up to that area. And Good Harbor Beach, we stayed in a B&B on Good Harbor Beach up there in north of Gloucester, I guess it was. And then we, when you go with your parents, you go, what do they call it? Mound hounding. We ended up in a cemetery.
Oh, right.
And I saw my ancestors all there among all the Revolutionary War soldiers. So there they were, buried deep there with their aspirations. And the song came out of the trip. It just came out of the trip. Turned out it was the last time that I did anything with my dad. And so, memorialized the idea in that song.
It's nice. I really enjoyed the sparse, finger picking section that was just very sort of hypnotic. It was really a nice piece of relaxing thing.
Well, on the album, it's I actually layered a couple of electric guitar parts over that, and it came out really nicely. You have the CD, I think. You should give it a listen. Yeah. And it's kind of a haunting, the ghosts, the North Shore ghosts floating in and out of the song. So, yeah, that's it.
That's great. For the longest time, just so you know, your CD can be great. I carried it in my car for the longest time, but I didn't have a working CD player in the car. So then I took it home, and I didn't have a working CD player at home. So I ripped it, and I put it on my phone, and now I can listen to it on my phone.
Good.
And I can use the CD as a coaster on my desk. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's what it's good for. Well, that's what I was saying, about these poor touring artists who are trying to sell their CDs at the concerts.
Right.
Nobody's buying them because they have nothing to play them on anymore.
Right.
It's just, but that's what they do. That's their stock in trade. They carry boxes of CDs around, and hopefully they can sell a couple at the concerts.
Right. And you know what? People see your show, and they see your show and they get into a mood like, oh, now I love you. You're amazing. And you're like, you know what? $10 or $20 or whatever it is for your CD. And they'll buy it right there because they are appreciating you. Like, if they want home,
support.
You'll never get it. Like, if you send them an email, go buy it. Like, I'm not buying that. What the heck, And that's your friends that won't buy it.
It's a hard way to make a living. I don't know how when Apple was doing the when you could buy the albums, the MP3s. How much did the artist get there? But nobody's doing that anymore. It's all Spotify, pretty much.
Right.
Your 0.003 cents every time you get a hit.
Right.
So.
Right. That's what it is. Yeah, I looked it up. You get $3,200 per million views, and it's like. But you're only going to get 1,000 views.
Right. Well, that's if you look like my album's on Spotify. If you look at it, it's for anybody less than 1,000, it's just they have a less than sign and 1,000. Right. That's it.
Do you get a check for like a penny, or do you get that?
I haven't seen a nickel. I haven't seen a dime.
They won't pay you until it's a rounding error of at least a penny.
Oh, it's such a racket.
Yeah, I have friends who do like commercials and whatever, and some of them do really, really well, but some of them they show me the checks for like 12 cents, from SAG AFTRA or whatever, for 6 cents, royalty check.
Jesus,
wow.
It's crazy.
All right, so play one for us on Jam TV because we appreciate it. It's not about the money.
Yeah, I haven't seen any checks come in with your name on it.
Exactly, there it
is. So this is I actually heard this guy speaking of musicians who were traveling and trying to sell their CDs. The Chirp concerts in Ridgefield.
Right.
There's one going on right now, as a matter of fact. Every Tuesday and Thursday night, there's something going on there in the park. So I saw this guy, Jimmy LaFave.
Yeah.
Who's from Austin, Texas, and he just blew me away. He was a brilliant songwriter. And I picked up this song. It's called "Clear Blue Sky" by Jimmy LaFave. It's a sad ending to this, actually. He passed away about a year after I saw him. Probably 60 years old. So this song has a little bit of poignancy as a result of that, for sure. It's a very romantic, beautiful tune.
Baby, when I see you, my heart beats like a drum. Left in the pouring rain. You know I get this feeling in my soul I can't explain. There's a bit of sadness hiding deep inside your heart. Sometimes it makes you cry. Baby, I can feel it when you go walking by. And I can't stop the rain from falling. I dry all the teardrops from your eyes. But I can make love to you, baby, right out of a clear blue sky. Sweet, sweet mystery, you're a work of art in a state of grace. Do you ever notice me in your time and place? Can't stop the rain from falling and dry all the teardrops in your eyes. But I can make love to you, baby,
right out of a clear blue sky. And I don't even question why. 'Cause I just know that we should be. This may be a moment to you, but it's a lifetime to me. Baby, when I see you, my heart falls at my feet. And yes, I don't know why. 'Cause I can make love to you, baby, right out of a clear blue sky. Clear blue sky. Clear blue sky.
Nice. That's a great tune.
Love that song.
Beautiful.
What a great idea, you know. I could make love to you right out of the clear blue sky. I'd like to dedicate this to my partner, Kate, by the way.
There you go. Fantastic.
She's watching. I think she is. That'll get me some brownie points, Ed. You know.
There you go. I'm not doing any of that tonight, but I am sleeping under the clear blue sky in a tent. I'm at a hot spring with a pool and a like 104-degree hot spring that smells like sulfur, you know.
Oh, my goodness.
And it's beautiful, and I've got a beautiful mountain range here and the ocean just over this hill here. I'm going to go take a little ride later on,
you know,
as the sun goes down.
It's beautiful. There's a place in Colorado that I went to. This was did a family trip back in like 04, 05, and we ended up in a hot spring. Just the pool looks just like where you are. In fact, when I saw it, I go, I've been there.
Where? Do you remember where it was?
Yeah, it was like Greenwood Springs, or do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, there's also one called the Sulphur Hot Springs up near Granby or that area, up sort of between Steamboat and Rocky Mountain National Park. And I know where you were. You were in Glenwood Springs, right?
It may have been Glenwood Springs. I think it was. Now the names of the places. Yeah, Grand Junction. It wasn't far from Grand Junction, Colorado, right?
I think it's Glenwood Springs. Yeah, that's great. I'm gonna be I was going to be going through that area, but now I'm not so sure. There's a heat wave on, and I may head way north up into Oregon and Idaho, and then over to Grand Tetons and Yellowstone, and then down to Colorado. So I'll miss that area, but I love that area. That's just beautiful out there.
Do you have to wear a helmet out there?
Yeah, I definitely wear a helmet because I'm on a big bike with lots of gear, and I don't want to. I'm not looking for trouble.
No, and I don't know what the laws are out there. I can't imagine riding a motorcycle without one.
Yeah, no, I wear it.
How hot it must be under that if you're going through the Death Valley with a helmet on. Oh,
I'm
my
not
God.
doing any of that. I have done that. As a matter of fact, I was in at the base of Lake Powell, or was it Lake Mead? Lake Powell or Lake Mead in Page, Arizona. And I missed it by an hour. I was supposed to be there at 9 a.m. where it was going to only be 90 degrees. And I was there at 10 a.m. and it was 110. And it was so hot that I jumped into the Colorado River, which was freezing cold because it comes off the bottom of the dam there. And with all my clothes on, just so that I wouldn't, die. Like it was just so hot. And I remember that now I'm riding soaking wet. And I thought, well, I'll open the visor because that'll cool me down. It's the opposite. If you open your visor, it heats you up to 130 and you cook. So I had to close the visor, and my breath was actually keeping me in the 90s in the helmet. It was just the worst experience. It was terrible.
Wow.
And at one point, the thermometer hit 130. I was riding riding, the thermometer hit 130. Like going through the sun in the desert.
Yeah, and the old dry heat thing. I think about that, and I think, you know what? Dry heat and you're dry. That's combustible. You might go up. You could explode into flames.
Your shoes and your tires will melt. At 130.
You're like kindling to that. You just go
really,
up, really dry, and then you go up. So I did this was back in 1988 or 89. I did a canoe trip down the Green River in Utah. Do you know where that is?
I do know where that is. Absolutely.
We started we stayed in Moab.
Yeah.
Just a couple of guys. We stayed in Moab, and then we drove to Green River, put in, and paddled all the way down to the confluence of the Colorado and the Green through Canyonlands National Park.
Right. Now, first of all, there's nothing green about it. Okay.
Yeah, the green. Except it's kind of a murky brownish color, as I recall.
Yeah. And there's no vegetation anywhere because it's blistering hot all the time.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of rock. But this was in early June, and the reason I remember this now is because when we went in and lost contact with civilization. I mean, you're going down it took us 7 days to paddle this thing down.
I know exactly where you were. Yep.
Yeah. And Tiananmen Square was going on at the time.
Oh my God.
And we went in, I think no one knew at that point, what was going to happen. I think, the thing hadn't exploded yet. And of course we were wondering what the hell happened in China while we were going down the river, and when we came out, of course, we found out what had happened to the extent that anybody in the West knows exactly what happened.
Right.
But it was so hot. It was so hot that we had to get off the river about 10:30. Hey, Randy Stone.
We
had to get off the river about 10:30 every morning for about 2.5 hours, and we would hide, in these rock formations in the shade in order to stay somewhat cool.
Right.
And at one point, we were both in the water, just holding onto our boat and letting the current take us down. Because
that's nice because the water's cold.
It was cold, yeah.
Really cold. And the air is, 110 and the water's cold.
It didn't feel cold. Believe me, it was just so refreshing.
Yeah, I rafted in Moab on the Colorado River, up in that with the canyons going down on both sides. You're in these deep canyons. Just beautiful.
Getting off the river, and Moab is dry, or was dry then. I don't know what it is now.
Yeah.
Oh, but I mean, it was dry from alcohol. You it's dry in every conceivable way.
That's dry. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really dry.
That's a dry heat. Yeah.
That's a dry heat. Don't go there, Randy. It's dry.
Yeah.
That leads to the dry heaves after a while. But
good writing.
We met. So there were bars though, and you could bring in, if you could find you could bring in your own, and they would supply you at the bar with mixers. Man, there were some characters in that bar. It was the best.
In Moab.
Oh my God, it was one of the funniest nights of my life in that place. Yeah.
Moab is great, but very, very hot. We were there. My friend Ross and I were there on motorcycles 2 years ago before the pandemic in Moab, and it was hot. It was like 110 in Moab. We pulled into town and we went right out on the river rafting. It was great.
Yeah, you got to get there before June 1st. You really do, in order to have any kind of like human habitation.
That is for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well.
So who we got there? My screen is so small. Oh, it's Barry. Hey, Barry.
How you doing, Ed?
How are you? Nice to see you.
Nice to finally be back.
Yeah.
You're in California, huh?
I'm in California. I'm at a hot spring. This is the pool. This is the cold part. And
very nice.
Spring, and the hot spring's over there. I'm going to go hop into that in a little while once people clear out a little bit more. But
any scenery there you could focus on for us, please, at the pool?
Scenery, actually, there was the scenery is moving out. There was a lot of California girls.
Yeah, there you go.
Now lots of kids.
What you need, Ed, is for someone to come on and play like a 30-minute version of Freebird, so you could go for a swim, in the middle of it and cool off a little bit. Stephen Keith played at the
at the pig roast at the Norwalk Boat Club last week, and somebody went Freebird, and he played Freebird. He played a wonderful version of Freebird.
Just a solo guy, really? Wow.
Yeah, he did a nice job of.
Nice.
Did a nice job. Yeah,
It might be a good response. It might be a way to eradicate it, like putting out an oil fire with an explosion and starving it of oxygen,
Well, so I don't know if you guys know my Freebird story. I was doing one of my iterations of my jam in the very early days, even before I did the Willows. I did it at Le Chateau, like the fancy out French restaurant.
I know that place.
And
Yeah.
I knew the owner, and she said, "You've got to come in and you've got to try to do something here in our bar upstairs." So I was like, "All right." I tried a few different things, and so we did a jam, and we had a few people there. Like Bob Lamont would come, and he would sing the blues in French.
I remember. Yeah.
Bob Lamont.
He would do the blues in French, and they loved him. They're like, "Oh, we love your blues in French," right? And Bob is funny because he's Haitian, and he said when he was growing up in Haiti, he does songs like "Sweet Home Haiti," like "Sweet Home." I don't remember the name of the town, right? But
Port-au-Prince.
But yeah, right, "Sweet Home Port-au-Prince." But it's not Chicago. And he said when he grew up and he came to America, he found out that we do the Haitian blues songs, but we changed the names, like "Sweet Home Chicago."
Yeah.
Oh, right.
He thought it was Haitian music. Like he didn't know that it was American music, until he came to the States. But I was at Le Chateau, and there was this lovely young woman, probably 30 years old, very beautiful, with, like from a fine family, with her giant diamond earrings and her, Laura Ashley outfit or whatever. Like she looked stylish and just very conservative, but she was extremely drunk. She was just drunker than drunk, right? And so she comes up to me and she says, "I know what we're going to do now." I said, "What are we going to do?" She said, the band is going to play Freebird and I'm going to play drums. And I said, "Well,
Great.
Can you play Freebird on drums?" She goes,
Of course.
"Absolutely. Of course I can." Right. So she, later on, she
We can all write this script. Yes.
She pulled her
We've
jeans
seen
down
this show before.
for Ray Simonelli, and she showed her butt to Ray Simonelli, and on her butt was a tattoo of the word Freebird with a heart. Okay. You can't make
Hard to
That's your
say no
reference.
at that point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Want to see my reference?
Yeah, exactly.
So, long story short, none of us know how to play Freebird.
Show it. Where do you have "Sweet Home Alabama" on your?
There you go. So,
Where is
that
your stairway
smell?
to heaven is what I want to know.
Yeah.
so I played Freebird, and she played the drums, except she never played the drums in her life once. And she didn't even know what part to hit. Like she was just hitting the stands and hitting the rims, and like the drumsticks are flying. But she looked great, and she had a great time. And all the guys were like, "Oh my God," because she showed us her tattoo.
That's a universal truth in live gigging. If it's a hot chick, all is forgiven.
I'm sure there were
That's it.
4 or 5 guys going over there
Together.
like, "You hold the, here's how you hold the stick."
Yeah.
Ed, you're
Drum, wrapping yourself around. And
Yeah, that classic thing of showing her how to swing a golf club, right? Yeah.
well, Ed, you're former co-host of your
Exactly.
jam at the
What was- were you
saloon.
trying to tell me
When
something?
you were doing the jam at the saloon, your former co-host there, Tara, met her now husband at one of our gigs. He was sitting in on guitar, and she came up, and Jerry knew her and kind of knew her, and she said she wanted to sing a song. And we kind of look at each other and say, "Okay, this could go one of two ways." But it was Tara, and she came up and she killed. She killed "Love Me Like a Man," like blew the room away, blew the band away, and the guitarist, because of that song, frankly, I think ended up marrying her. And they were just here last weekend, and that was 20 years ago.
Nice story.
Very cool.
There's one of those for every 100 stories like Ed's.
You didn't do your big.
Well, we had those other ones as well that came
I'm sure
up.
you did. I'm sure, of course you did. Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't remember them, unless they've got a really cool tattoo.
A tattoo, a strategic spot. Yeah.
Freebird.
Exactly.
Ed, you are freezing.
Exactly.
You know.
So
That's
you
why-
can
that's why I'm-
do
Your audio's Ed, your
Memorial
audio's fine, but your
Day
video's
dance
choppy.
here, right?
Your audio's fine, but your video's choppy.
I think he went for
I
a
may be-
swim.
You know what, Barry? Why don't you do a song? Why don't you
Okay.
do a song, Barry? And if you can hear me, do a song.
I hear
We
you.
hear you fine.
All right, I'm gonna just turn down my volume here. All right. Well,
I'm gonna go-
I find myself
find some
whenever I
better
play on
internet.
Ed's show,
I'm gonna go find
just
some-
leaning towards Bruce Coburn for some reason. So I'm going to give you yet another Bruce Coburn song because I've given you quite a few, I think, already. But his are kind of the most fun to play, or pretty fun.
Cool.
This is called "Mama Wants to Barrel House All Night Long." All night long. I was up the road on Easy Street, watching everyone stand around and cheat. Man come up and says, move along back to the corner where you belong. But mama just wants to barrel house all night long. Mama just wants to barrel house all night long. Hear this city screaming like a siren choir. Some fool tried to set this town on fire. TV preacher screamed, come on along. Feel like Fay Ray face to face with King Kong. But mama just wants to barrel house all night long. Mama just wants to barrel house all night long. Sometimes I wonder just what I am. I feel like I'm living in a hologram. Nobody's right if everybody's wrong. Everybody's jiving and coming on strong. But mama just wants to barrel house all night long. Mama just wants to barrel house all night long.
That was nice.
Nice long slow blues song to get you time to get wherever you needed to get, Ed. So there you go.
Nice.
That
have
was
to-
very well rendered. I've
Yeah,
never heard that
yeah.
song.
That's
Oh,
a
wait.
great tune.
I have no idea.
I love how you do that. I caught the tail end of it.
No, it's
Thanks.
great, and your lead was really cool in the middle of it, and I love
Yep.
the element of almost strain you have on your voice when you're doing that. It's really cool.
I'm always straining.
No, it's good though, but you know what I mean. It's not like it's a bluesy voice.
Yep.
Yeah, that's really great.
The
I
Billy
meant
Gibbons
that,
would have
that
to,
came out wrong, but I meant it well.
You guys are super busy. You playing a lot of music.
We're
here?
super busy. We're gigging three days this weekend: Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Next weekend, Friday, Saturday, with the Dead Band, going back and forth between Bone Dry duo and this big 7-piece Dead Band with 2 drummers and
Wow.
big stage and the whole thing. And yeah, we got a lot going on. And Rob and I are doing both. Rob's on bass on both on the Dead Band gigs now too. So yeah, it's introduced a lot of Grateful Dead into the Bone Dry repertoire, I'll say. There was already some, but now there's a real lot. But we mix it up, as you know.
I'm so
having
happy
fun.
that you're busy. I'm so happy you're back and busy musically. That's great.
We kind of played all the way through to some extent.
Right.
We had a few things that kept us going all the way through. So yeah, it's been good. But man, that quarantine was the best thing that ever happened to my guitar playing. I'll tell you. I put in more hours sitting right here than I talking to you in the beginning a lot, and then I kind of burned out on that a little bit. But sorry.
That's great.
So yeah.
So do another one. Can you play another one for us?
I could play another one for you.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I'll do an older. No. Let me switch that. Let me do that again.
Put in my earpiece.
Been walking with my baby down by the San Francisco Bay. Ocean liner drove me so far away. Didn't mean to make her feel bad. She was the best girl I ever had. She made me cry, she made me sigh. Won't tell you no lies. Ain't got a nickel and I ain't got a lousy time. If she don't come back soon, I'm gonna lose my mind. But if she ever comes back to stay, it's gonna be a brand new day. Walking with my baby, I'm out at San Francisco Bay. Sitting on the front porch, wondering where to go. That crazy woman of mine, she don't love me no more. Gonna catch a freight train, cause I'm feeling blue. Take it down to the end of the line, thinking only of you. Meanwhile in the city, I'm just about to go insane. The way she talks, the way she walks, the way she used to call my name. But if she ever comes back to stay, it's gonna be a brand new day. Walking with my baby down by the San Francisco Bay. When walking with my baby down by the San Francisco Bay. The ocean liner drove us so far away. I didn't mean to make her feel bad. She was the best girl I ever had. She made me cry, she made me sigh. I won't tell you no lies. I ain't got a nickel and I ain't got a lousy time. And if she don't come back soon, I'm gonna lose my mind. But if she ever comes back to stay, It's gonna be a brand new day. Walking with my baby down by the San Francisco Bay. You're gonna get her. Walking with my baby down by the San Francisco Bay. One more time, I've been walking with my baby down by the San Francisco Bay.
Nice job, man.
Thank you.
That was great.
I actually just found a thumb drive that my dad I found in his dresser, like a few months back, and he died a couple of years ago. And I found this thumb drive and it had all these old family videos on it. And one of them was my stepbrother and myself banging that song out. I was on my 12-string guitar. I was probably like 15, and we were playing that song, and I was just beating the crap out of my guitar because that's how I played back then. I just played hard and I was pounding on it and screaming that song, but I've never really stopped playing it since then. So
that's a great tune. That's a good story too.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Nice.
So, anyway,
so plug some of your gigs. What do you have coming up?
So tomorrow night I'm playing with a duo at Sarah's Wine Bar in Ridgefield.
Right.
Saturday night I'm playing at the Reading Roadhouse, which is home base for us and has been forever. So we're doing that out on the patio. That should be nice. Both those will be outside. Sunday afternoon we're playing at Reverie Brewing.
Where's that?
In Newtown. It's right off of Churchill Road in Newtown. Mm-hmm. And it's a really cool place. Great vibe, great beer. They got food trucks and we play there every month. Actually, Sarah's we play every month and there we play every month. And so that's this weekend. And then the following Friday night, the Connecticut Grateful Dead All-Stars are at the Palace Theater in Stamford. We are
nice.
In a smaller room, but it's the first show they've had since COVID. We're opening.
Wow. That's great. So, that's really cool.
Yeah. So we're looking forward to that. And then we got a private the next day. So we're busy. And
that's really great. Do a Grateful Dead tune. Would you do a Grateful Dead tune for us?
I think I could find one.
Promote your show.
All right. There was a wealthy merchant in London he did dwell. He had a beautiful daughter, the truth to I'll tell. Oh, the truth to I'll tell. She had sweethearts aplenty and men of fine degree, but none but Jack the Sailor, her true love ever be. Oh, her true love ever be. Jackie's gonna sail in with trouble on his mind. He left his native country and his darling girl behind. Oh, his darling girl behind. She went down to the tailor and dressed in man's array. She climbed aboard a schooner, convey herself away. Oh, convey herself away. She went down. Before you come on board, sir, your name we'd like to know. She smiled upon her countenance. They call me Jack-a-Roe. Oh, they call me Jack-a-Roe. I see your waist is slender, your fingers they are small. Your cheeks too red and rosy to face a cannonball. Oh, to face a cannonball. I know my waist is slender, my fingers they are small, but it would not make me tremble to see 10,000 fall. Oh, to see 10,000 fall. the battle being over, she went and looked around. Among the dead and wounded, her darling boy she found. Oh, her darling boy she found. She picked him up into her arms and carried him to town. To the doctor she said, quickly heal his wounds. Oh, quickly heal his wounds. This couple, they got married, so well they did agree. This couple, they got married, so why not you and me? Oh, why not you and me? Oh, why not you and me?
Nicely done.
There you
So
go.
good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hi,
You're very loose and fluid. It's clear you play a lot.
I play a lot.
Yeah. It's
I
clear.
play a lot. I just play a lot, you know.
Yeah. No, it shows. It shows.
Yeah. So, yeah. Fun. You know, I mean, what else are you gonna do?
That's good.
Watch
You
TV,
didn't
you
do
know.
your Memorial Day jam at your house, did you?
No, it felt a little early, Ed. It felt a little early, and actually, we kind of got a lot of stuff going on with life. So no, I'm hoping to resume that in the fall.
Very cool.
Yeah, and
Those
actually,
jams
I'm
are always
planning
great.
on resuming it in the fall. Is the answer to that?
That's great. Those jams are always great. You know, whenever I can catch them, which is not often, but whenever I can catch them, I really enjoy it.
I was just out last night playing. There's this group of guys, the Reading Pickers, and it's a bunch of local guys. Well, they're very bluegrassy kind of thing, but we go to one of the local places and sit outside, and we all eat. And we just jam together and a lot of mandolin and dobro and that kind of stuff. And playing.
Are you in Reading?
I'm in Reading, yeah.
Yeah, I'm in Easton. We're neighbors.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So and actually last night they were all talking about it, and what they said they like about it the most is that there's just all people from all over the place, because I've spent all these years having all these your jam and all that group of people, and the old saloon jam from way back when, and then there's this Reading thing, and then there's the Note group down in Bethel, and then there are all the bluegrass folks that I met from up in the valley. And then all the people through the the band together stuff and the Bone Dry stuff, and it's just they all come, and they've never met each other.
Are you telling me there's a bluegrass movement up in the valley?
Oh my God, there's a huge bluegrass movement up in the valley.
Now, when you say the valley, you mean like Naugatuck and Seymour and those?
Seymour, Oxford, yeah. Oh man, Bethany.
I didn't know that.
Oh, I got hooked in with this group. I told you about it, the parties that I got invited to. That's what inspired my party, was some of those bluegrass parties that I showed up to, and there were 50 people, fiddles and mandolins and banjos and klezmers and nickel harpas and all kinds of crazy instruments and like a huge amount of talent. Like these people are serious. They play all the time.
Right.
And I I can keep up, I can find my way through it. But so that brings a lot of fun to the party, and that's what brought a lot of the bluegrassy stuff into what I do. Was really that. That's what got me. That's where I got my mandolin. That's why I started playing the dobro. It was all because of hanging out with all those.
I'd love to take an accordion up to one of those.
I told you I was gonna make it happen, but then all the parties dried up. So.
When I first,
a lot of them come here though. A lot of the people that come to my party are that group.
Yeah, I've met some bluegrass people at your party, so I didn't realize that was part of a giant thing. That sounds great.
Yeah. It's huge up there. It's huge. I mean, there are a lot of parties, or there were, before a lot of bluegrass parties. You want to get invited to a bluegrass party. I mean, it should be. It's something you should aspire to, because it's very. It's very motivational. I'll tell you, you watch these people and they're just smoking, they could just play so cleanly on an acoustic guitar, and I'm just a hack, and it's nice. It's nice to gives you a little perspective.
I first moved to Easton 30 years ago, and I'd come actually from a condo in Bridgeport, so it was very quiet out here. And when we first moved in, I would sit out on the porch and I could hear bluegrass in the distance, clearly live bluegrass way in the distance. And it would go on for 2 days, then it would go away. Then the next year it happened again. And I started asking around. It was a bluegrass festival. And for the first 2 years,
Barnes,
they had Bill Monroe at this festival.
Yeah.
I mean, the bluegrass guy. And of course, by the time I figured out where it was and how to go the next year, he had passed. So
his son is there, and his son still does it, but not quite to that.
Yeah, but it was so great. I would sit out on the porch, drinking wine, and in the distance, you could actually hear the upright bass notes, and it was so sweet. I felt like I was in another country from having lived in a condo in Bridgeport to hearing that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's nice. Yeah. So I try to get that going. It's not quite a festival, but it's quite
cool.
festive, yeah. When we make it happen. So yeah, that'll happen again.
Sounds good. Well, good to see you, Barry.
Hey, thanks for having me on. Sorry it took me so long to get back here finally, but
no, it's all super good. And I'm gonna play something by Tony McKenna, and I hope to see you soon. I'm out in California right now, riding my motorcycle to Colorado. So I'm gonna be doing this next week. If you don't have a gig, if you feel like coming on, it'd be great to see you.
Very good. And Tony's awesome. So let's see what he has to play for us.
Here we go. Pretty nice.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it's always nice to hear him play.
So many people I haven't seen in a long time. I mean, I haven't seen you, Barry, in a year and a half at least, except on the show.
When are you going to restart in live and in person, man? What are you waiting for?
It's going to happen. What I'm waiting for is I'm out of town. This pandemic ended suddenly. Like it was like
Yeah.
bam, like as quickly as it came on, it let go. I was
Are you
not
going back to
ready.
Bob's?
I probably will. You know, I just I have a busy summer, and first of all, the Black Duck is coming back. The Horseshoe is back. The Dave Lindsay's doing his jam in the park on Tuesdays,
Right.
and so there's a lot of summer music. And July, August, typically people go away. I have a feeling this year people really go away in July and August. And so I've got a busy summer. I've got a bunch of things planned, a bunch of trips planned, and I was going to use the pandemic to sort of be a bum. And so now I'm not ready to start it up yet, but I think maybe September will be the right moment to bring it back.
All right, good. Yeah, we gotta, the world's gotta open back up, man. It's time.
Absolutely. Maybe if you do a party, we'll kick it off there. We'll take it to Bobby's or wherever. I'm actually thinking of splitting it up and doing it in different venues. We'll see who survives. We'll see who's back. What venues are still doing. There's some new names, and so we'll see. Right. We'll see where I land. But I'm definitely getting back into it. I really look forward to doing that.
Good. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to see everybody. This is nice, but it's not the same.
It's not the same.
You
no.
can't clink glasses,
Right. Exactly. It was nice to keep it going. But now that everything has just ended so quickly, not ended, the opposite of ended. Everything started so quickly.
Exploded.
It exploded. And Randy, how many gigs do you have this summer now?
I truly can't count it. At least 15.
Right. You're like super busy.
And I'm playing. I have a gig tomorrow night that I'm playing with Kurt and Helen, and then Wendy May on Saturday. Then I'm at Joey C's Boathouse with those reggae guys next Sunday. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, that's really cool. So you're going to be doing the reggae band at Joey C's, a bunch of gigs this summer, right?
Yeah, it's Sundays from 1 to 5.
Great, that's a great gig.
Yeah, I know. Like I can either sit there and squander my gig pay eating oysters and sucking down Chardonnay, or come home.
That's really cool. That's really cool. Yeah, so I've got a few gigs myself.
No, it's a ton. All of a sudden, it's great. And I said yes to everything because coming out of COVID, the first 2 or 3 gigs, I'm like, this might be all I get. I might just only have 2 gigs for the summer. So the answer is yes. What's the question?
Exactly. It's the same thing with me. And so, I'm doing fireworks show in Vermont.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. I get back from motorcycling in a couple of weeks, and I immediately get in my car the next morning and drive up to Vermont and play fireworks on June 2nd.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
And then I got a gig July 4th. It's steamrolling with gigs.
It did.
And we'll be jamming soon enough. Don't worry.
We've never been booked for so many privates as we are this summer.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, a lot of private.
Because
I did one last week. We did one at the Westport Hunt Club. Yeah, and it was great. It was a really fun, well-paying gig.
And people are in a good mood. People are in a good mood, so it's cool.
Yeah, nobody's
it was one of those white parties where everybody wore white. It's kind of. I'm serious.
I took that the wrong way. Man. I took that the other way, but
I know.
All right, I'm going to show the reggae band really quick. Hang on, check this out. This is you playing reggae, Randy Stone.
Yeah, I know.
behold, I completely. He said, behold, 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 I completely. Words like a mirror reflect in what you do. 'Cause if you face it smiling, it's gonna smile right back to you. So do unto others as you would have them do, so that your days will be many, many years much longer. And I know it was the voice of the Most High. Yes, I know it was the voice of the Most High.
Did that video freeze up?
No, it just kind of cut off, but it was fine. We got the essence of it.
I can't hear you guys. I'm having some
Uh-oh.
technical glitches.
What do you
here.
want to talk about, Barry?
I'm wondering. Can you hear me?
Well, how can we talk about Ed? Come
Come
on.
on. Hear me.
You must have some good old Ed stories.
Oh, not working great. All right, I'm going to play a video. Check it.
Really?
Nothing doing with the clothes you wear. It's not about the way you comb your hair. Gotta pay the dues just while you can. Got a lot of views to pay the man. They say the world is what you make it, and people always try to come and break it. Pay no mind to all the things they say, sounding like a broken record playing. Don't need nobody to believe me. Don't need no alibi. Go get it while you can. I still got to get it over. I still got to get it down. I still got to get it over. I still got to get it down. It's not the game, it's how you play it. It's not the word, it's how you say it. Do my thing, keep the money paying. Only one, and this is where I'm saying. Don't need nobody to believe me. Don't need no alibi. Go get it while you can. I still got to get it over. I still got to get it down. I still got to get it over. I still got to get it down. Yeah. get it over. Oh, I still gotta get it down. Yeah. And that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. That's what the girl said. That's so cute.
You've met Holly, right? At one of my
Oh
jams,
yeah,
Barry?
I did that coyote
not-
video with her.
No, Barry, I'm talking about.
I'm sorry.
I don't think I ever met her.
Yeah, I don't think you met her.
On a bunch of your videos in the last year.
She's been a
You know,
bunch
I've
of
seen you play
videos,
a lot
and she
of
comes to the
videos,
jam.
I'm very impressed.
She's phenomenal. Like,
Yeah, I know.
she's really a country singer by background, you know, and she writes, and she just finished an album in Nashville, you know. She's doing
she's
stuff.
very soulful. I mean, she's really got it. I can hear it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a nice person too, you know, so phenomenal. All right, you guys. Well, I'm going back in the hot spring. I'm staying in a hot spring in San Luis Obispo tonight, and I'm gonna shorten Jam TV tonight.
I would do the same.
Yeah, exactly.
SLO.
Yeah.
We had
You
a
have to
good
have a
show.
slow time in SLO, right?
Yes.
You have to slow everything.
Exactly. It's so beautiful out here.
It is.
I might
was
even-
at a wedding a couple of years ago. It was gorgeous.
It's just super nice. You know, it's funny because when I go on these motorcycle trips, what I do is I ride all day. You know, I mean, not all day. You know, I ride and I get off and I ride and I do stuff. And then when I get where I'm going, I, you know, pitch the tent and I unload the bike. And then I've got an unloaded bike. And it's really nice to ride the bike when it's not loaded with all kinds of camping gear. And so I'm probably just going to go take a ride down around the beach right now and, you know, maybe do that a little bit.
Nice. When I was there, I made sure to go for a run, and I found this trail that went up into the mountains, and I was winding along the tops of all these mountains.
Wow.
And horses on the fields, and it was like I really lucked out. I just kind of managed to find this great 5-mile loop that was just in the mountains of California, which is just always so gorgeous up there. So
Absolutely.
it's a
Absolutely.
nice town. It's a nice town. Real nice.
Yep. I'm only here for another day, and then I'm like, I don't even know where yet, depending on how hot it is. I'm supposed to make Yosemite on Sunday, but I may not because it's going to be so hot on the way there. It's going to be 115 in the valley, and I don't think I'm going to cross that.
Can you even get into Yosemite without a reservation these days?
I have a reservation for Sunday,
you do?
so yeah. So that was the plan, but Fresno is 115 on Sunday, so I worry about that. I may get up at 4:00 in the morning and ride it, at sunrise and ride up into Yosemite. Go to Mono Lake after that. Which is on the other side, which is like the Dead Sea. It's basically the Dead Sea of America.
Nice.
Mono Lake. It's salt. You float on top of it, just like the Dead Sea.
Oh, cool.
So we'll see where I end up. But I look forward to seeing you at one of your shows this summer.
All right, man. Good seeing you guys. Randy, good talking to you.
Likewise.
Your neighbors, we'll get together and jam sometime.
Love it. Love it.
All right, man. Take care.
So, Randy.
Yes.
I pushed the wrong button, and I don't know what's happening. Oh, there we go.
I can hear you. Okay.
I was trying to get the show ended. But good to see you. What have you got going over the next week or so?
Let's see. So I have my oldest living band, Happy Ending, been around for 40 years.
Yeah,
those guys tomorrow night, all original stuff. There's the only band I'm in that does all originals. I was just at last night, Joey C's Boathouse. I was in the house band for that, which is really good. It was reasonably packed. There had to be, it was outside, 50, 75 people there. And then I was going to fill in with, for Kurt and Helen on Dave Rao's Corner Jam in Westport on the street corner. And then I just got, while we were on the air here, I just got texts, panicked, wacky texts from the adorable Wendy May. Like, can I play on Saturday? And I'm like, I have no time. You got to give me a list with keys. Yeah, I'd love to, but it would be really cool to know in advance. So I appreciate that you're going to end the show early because I'm now going to go learn 10 songs for Wendy. But half of them I know and half of them I've never fucking heard before. And then next week, the reggae. And then after that, a show with the B-side band at Ripka's again. And then I go to Cape Cod for a week.
Hey, guys.
Hey, man. How are you?
Good. I just said jump on and say hi before we said bye.
That's
good to see you.
Hi and bye.
I'm doing great.
you're not in Utah anymore, right?
No, I'm home. I'm back in Connecticut.
I was supposed to go to Utah, but it's blistering hot there.
Oh,
right
I hope
now.
you're not going through southern Utah. That's 100.
Ed, when you said you left, I saw on your Facebook you left White Plains. That wasn't direct, right? You went to Chicago or something?
Went to Chicago.
Yeah,
United.
I used to do that all the time. I was like, do they have direct? Because they don't have planes big enough with enough fuel to get to. Yeah.
It took a 50-seater at RJ.
Yeah,
I like that. I don't always fly out of Westchester, but on this trip,
I fly out of Westchester when I was flying weekly, and I was flying weekly. They would get mad at me because Westchester's more expensive, but I took Westchester every fucking chance I could.
Right. Yeah.
So, the other reason I had to come on.
What?
Come on.
You cut your hair. I can't believe it.
I did.
Oh, look at that.
Down.
I'm telling David Crosby.
I'll tell you. Almost cut my hair last night. No, I did. Whoops, I did.
I'm more than overdue, as my wife is telling me. She's like, "You have your wings coming out. You look like an elf."
It's called headphones, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the time has come.
Yeah, very cool. Well, good to see you guys. I'm going to wrap up.
Take care, Ed. Have a good trip, man.
This was show 66, and I'm going to end it with, as you know, here you go.
Yeah. Have a good trip, man.
Thanks.
Thank you.
were on the team.
That was quite a show. It's my time, I don't care.